Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Guided Way. I am your guide, Sean McCauley, and the fourth card for this week from Librarian Reed's House of Night Wisdom Oracle cards is Playful. And we look at aspirations of being in love or having a good time and being playful, but sometimes we get to a point where when we're just being playful, sometimes other people's feelings get hurt because we're just trying to play, trying to have a good time, and they take us too seriously. Or it could be that they're ultra sensitive, and so we'll kind of overstep our bounds. And sometimes because normally when that card shows up, if I'm doing a spread using that deck in particular, just for a one spread, normally when that card shows up in a spread, it is saying to be playful, to have fun, to smile, to laugh, to tell jokes, dance like no one's watching, sing like nobody can hear you, that sort of thing. But, depending on what cards I pull from this deck here, it's going to tell you, either we've been too playful or somebody's playing with us and we don't necessarily know entirely what's going on. And I won't know more until we start working on building the tower again. And yes, I'm still using using the same spread as before. In which case, I've already riffled this card, so I'm just going to give it a quick shuffle real quick, and then we'll start building the tower. And this is going to be, kind of what's going on. What's changing? How is it changing? What is it that has changed about the situation? And yep, we're building up and building up. Now that's Popper. So I'll just turn that back into being face down for right now. And we'll get back to that here in a little bit. And we have the tower completion. And the first card over here is, your wants or needs. So basically what you want, what you need, and kind of, how you gotta try and get it. The Queen of Skulls. So your wants and needs is that you want comfort, you want, I'm not going to say you want materialistic things, but you want to have a beautiful home, you want to have a beautiful life, you want to surround your things that are beautiful and things that are comforting, and there's nothing wrong with that. And but that is what your wants and needs, and that's kind of where you want to be comfortable, and so maybe that's where you can be happy and playful. And so we go on to what is changing about it. The Five of Grails. And the Five of Grails generally shows that some kind of loss. So if something has happened to you, for you to kind of lose, comfort and joy and happiness in the things that you surrounded yourself with. And, it's a time for you to grieve, and it's time for you to, feel, unhappiness, and it's okay, because this is a time of mourning for you. So this is what's changing. So this could be, you've lost a friend or a family member, maybe a relationship didn't work out the way that you wanted to, or maybe, your home, or your home and hearth isn't exactly what you expected it to be. It could be that you worked for somewhere for a number of years, and the company's changing directions, and it's causing you to be hurt. It's causing you to grieve and to be sad. So we'll go on to the third card here, and the Tower. Now, why is it changing? The Lord of Grails. And again, this card is reversed. And, you know, you kind of got to a point where maybe, you might think that you knew everything that's going on, but you're not necessarily seeing everything that's going on. And, it could indicate, that maybe, it's a project that's working on, or maybe a situation where, you're emotionally charged, but it was very negative and went badly for you. In which case, this is not necessarily a time for you to be playing around. These are things that, you are not in a situation to where you can be playful and that you can be happy, because, you're dealing with loss, and you're dealing with a lot of emotions. And, sometimes we try to ignore our emotions, and, we try to put on our game face or a brave face, and we tend to ignore our feelings, and we don't necessarily give in to what we're actually feeling. And this is saying that you really should, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to move forward. And we're going to go on to the fourth card in the Tower. The Seven of Grails. And again, I see a lot of unhappiness here. And so maybe you've been playing for a little bit too long, and, things just kind of got away from you. And, you just did not necessarily have your eye on the ball, or your eye on the situation as well as you should have. And, maybe you're being distracted by fantasies or ideals that just either they don't exist, or that just that you spend too much time just fantasizing about them, that, other things that you need to pay attention to, you've just kind of ignored, because, again, you've been spending too much time just kind of playing. Or it could be that, maybe you're in a relationship with somebody, and the relationship was very loving and abundant, but because you were just playing at the relationship, that maybe you've hurt somebody, and, you're kind of like in this romanticized ideals of, like, you know, a Casanova. And if you're the female in the situation, you're kind of playing at this relationship, and just kind of like being a female Casanova, and just kind of playing in the relationship, and not necessarily giving it the seriousness that it might require. The Eight of Grails. And again, this is saying that, you've reached a certain point. And that point is to saying that, it's time to look for something better. It's time to move on. Because, if you stay in the situation for too long, see where his hands are chained, you're not going to be able to get out of it. So, maybe this relationship isn't a healthy one. And maybe, this other person or was taking things seriously, and, maybe it was too serious for you, or vice versa. And we're going to go on up to the lesson, or what it is that you need to learn at this point. And we have the Queen of Grails again. So a lot of grails here. And this is a lot of emotion to be just kind of, appearing here. But, again, like I said, that maybe you did not give as much thought or seriousness to the relationship as you should have. And, you're kind of engaged with something with in a serious relationship. Maybe you're just now starting to realize that, just how important this relationship is to you. But, maybe you're looking at, the longevity of the relationship. Has it gone on too long? Has it not gone on long enough? Do you need to step away from the relationship, like what I suggest over here in the Eight of Grails? Or maybe this person is wanting a more of a commitment from you and wants you to take it more seriously. Because I think that this spread is more about a relationship with, a partner or a friend or something of that nature. And again, we have the Six of Grails, and it's reversed. And that's kind of, when you're looking back, to, your past, and, you're trying to remember things, fondly, but, you're kind of being controlled by, you know, essentially, really, not necessarily good memories, but kind of bad memories. And, maybe you're just kind of trying to remember something that was romanticized, but just it wasn't actually, the relationship. Because I'm thinking that somebody wanted you to take this relationship more seriously, and you kind of romanticized and fantasized it, but it's they want the seriousness of the relationship. They want to know that you're committed to the relationship, and I just don't see you as you being there in that relationship for that person. Because again, you've kind of, maybe you were being too playful for way too long, and they found something in you that you're not quite ready, you're not quite there to give as of yet. So here is what you need to, you know what you need to release. And it's the Prince of Skulls. So, that's usually a sign of abundance, but, you know, abundance isn't always, necessarily what we want, because it's sometimes we lead ourselves into believing something that it just really isn't there. And, you've been practicing something, and you've gotten to a point where you're really good at it, but, you need to consider your next challenge. And, maybe your next challenge is maybe you're starting to take this relationship a little bit more seriously, but maybe not. So that depends on the next card. So what you need to rethink in the relationship, and that is death, and it is reversed. So maybe you've been in this relationship too long, and because you come down here to the Five of Rails, where you endured loss, and you were in mourning, but maybe you became far more attached in the relationship than what she was willing to do, and now become it's got to a point to where it's meant something to you, but at this point I see that the damage has been done, and you're going to spend more time being in mourning and trying to recover from the situation, because again, you spend too much time playing at it and not taking it seriously. And we'll go on to the next card, which is what you need to rebuild, and that is the Eight of Knives, and it's reversed. So unfortunately with this is that you've kind of put yourself in a position to where you're convinced yourself that you trapped yourself into it, in which case that's not too far from the truth, because now you're starting to see the seriousness of the relationship, but now the damage may be done and irreparable, because you spend too much time being a player and playing games. And you have to kind of look at this from the other person's perspective, is that they was willing to give you something, And, it became something important to you, but it came too late. And so you're going to be struggling with this relationship, and it's going to take you a while to get over it. But the thing is that you're also going to get to a point where, you're going to convince yourself that you're trapped and you can't move on. In which case, you're not trapped. You can move on. That's just you telling yourself that you can't get yourself out of it. You can. But at this point in time, I strongly suggest that, tell the other person how you really feel before it's too late, and tell them what they mean to you. Because I feel like this is more relationship spread versus anything else. And again, you spend too much time playing the game but not being serious, and somebody's gotten seriously hurt. And if you want this relationship with this person, you're gonna have to try to convince them that you're not this shallow thing, because you're gonna find yourself that the relationship could have been so much more than what it is, but you spent too much time playing games that you couldn't that either you convince yourself that you're a player and that's the way you want it to be, or this person was far more involved in the relationship than what you wanted it to be, and so now it's becoming more, but you don't know how to fix it. You can fix it, but you have to stop playing. You have to tell them how you feel and either let them go, or, find a way to make amends with them so that you can move on and in this relationship. I wish this could have been a better read, but again, I don't wear rosy colored glasses, and I don't see the positive in everything. But again, this is not the end of the world. You can move on, but it just depends on how your next steps is going to depend on how you choose to move on. Whether you choose to move on with this person, or if you choose to let this relationship go, but it's going to be a loss. It's going to take you some time to get over it. But maybe next time when you get into a relationship, you won't just be playing games with them. You can just be, forthright from the beginning. But that's all I have for now. And thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe. Unfortunately, I find it hard to say that after a reading like this. But if you found it helpful, at least let me know that much. And again, thank you for watching. And stay safe and be blessed.